Yo, tapping in. It's LQ with you. You know what I mean? So just wanted to chime in on something regarding a interview that Tucker Carlson did with a gentleman by the name of Vince Ellison. And this was actually something that somebody that I grew up with back in my hometown in Virginia. He wanted me to speak a little bit about this topic, and it's mainly in reference to MLK, Martin Luther King, because there was a segment within the interview regarding MLK. And long story short, and let me preface this with, I'm not a politician. Obviously, I don't claim to be an activist. Now, granted, I've done, protest, and I've stood for equality and things that I deem matter, depending on the subject. But yeah, so Vince was really controversial regarding MLK. It felt like it was a lot of shade that was being thrown from his direction towards MLK, based on his own researches and his own experiences. And I've noticed that I don't know too much about Tucker Carlson. I know he's very popular, but he definitely was in agreement with Vince regarding certain allegations or claims regarding MLK. Basically, MLK being a part of more of a communist narrative, so. And for me, I'm a common sense type guy, I'm very big on doing my own research, and I'm very big on something making sense to me. And if it don't make sense to me, and I'm not a person who will necessarily trust and verify. I'm more of a guy of let me go verify versus trust, and that's the thing, a lot of the times I've noticed with certain interviewers, they'll have certain guests that they may know enough about the guest and the guest perspectives and narratives where they'll only invite those individuals that align with their quote-unquote agenda, so especially around political times, presidential times, when certain nominees are campaigning to be in a office, whether it be a Senate or even the president, presidency. So and the gentleman that wanted me to speak on this, shout out to Ali. He's definitely a big MLK advocate. I've always been a big MLK advocate. Nobody's perfect, so we all are flawed individuals, so and, a lot of times, especially during the civil rights movements era, and fast forward even up until now, you're gonna have things that come out later on in life, especially from some certain individuals that are no longer here. God bless the dead, of course. And if any of y'all have tuned into my previous perspectives on certain topics, in the background you'll see certain artworks, but you'll definitely see a MLK portrait with I Have a Dream at the bottom of it, so. And I'm an optimist, I like to look at the positives of a person and leave the negative, like take the meat, leave the bones, you know what I mean? So and yeah, in the interview with Vince and Tucker it's pretty lengthy. I didn't see the whole interview, but it's pretty lengthy. It's about almost 3 hours long. but I definitely honed into the MLK segment, and based on common sense for me, and I understand how theories can go and conspiracies can go. I don't agree. I don't agree with Vince, and even and even Tucker agreeing with him as well. They're gonna have their stances and believe what they believe. They got their own experiences. Definitely, a few generations ahead of me. So yeah, but I definitely disagree with those guys. So and I'm gonna continue to do my research and learn what I learned from it as well. And that's the thing with even with research, right? You can find things in black and white, but you can find things in a book, right? But you just really don't know. It's kind of hard to really believe certain things because if anybody's familiar with bias, bias confirmation, I mean, people have their own bias towards things, and what they're trying to push, and who they're trying to persuade, and they're talking to a particular type of audience, so but again, from my experience, even as a young man, a young boy coming up in school and stuff, and what I learned about MLK, whether it was MLK or Malcolm X or you name it, I learned a lot, from a positive perspective. I gained a lot. A lot of my progressions in my life, I contribute to guys like Martin Luther King, period. And that's my stance on it. And guys like Vince can believe what he wants to believe and continue to educate the way he feels he needs to educate. I've never been somebody who is a follower. I've never really considered myself a sheep. I'm definitely more of a headstrong person. And like I mentioned before, I'm all about verification versus trusting initially. So it's as simple as that. So definitely want to salute Ali on bringing this to the table for me. If there's anything out there that y'all want me to touch on, whether it be music related, sports related, political related, if I have a stance on it, or if I'm able to give a perspective and do some research prior to, I'll definitely do my due diligence. Let me know what y'all think as well. And of course, Fuego Talk, I let it spark in the middle of the ocean. We watch for the sharks. So appreciate y'all. Enjoy y'all day. I get with y'all.